Hi everyone, it's Melissa here from Missy Ann Fit, and I'm here to share another simple supper with all of you. Today's meal is a spaghetti squash skillet. Okay, so we have our meat browned and ready, so that I put aside, and in our skillet now we have the onion, garlic, and the red pepper is just cooking up. You just want to wait till the onion gets like a little bit clear, but it doesn't take very long, and then the peppers get a little tender. So we'll just give that a stir there. That's an olive oil. And then we're going to be adding the mushrooms in a few minutes. Okay, they're already sliced up and ready to go. So we'll just slowly add in our ingredients, but this won't take very long. The onions are almost done. And like I said, I already bought the sliced onions. Okay, so now we're going to add the sliced mushrooms to the peppers and onion and garlic in here. Just give that a stir around. Won't take very long. And then we're going to be adding, let me just double check my recipe. Okay, I have my tomatoes already chopped up. That's about 3 cups, like you want a lot in there. And we're also adding, this can is 28 ounces and it wants 15 ounces, so I'm going to do about half. I don't get too crazy with recipes. It's not like baking. You can't really mess it up. I know everyone gets like nervous about, oh my God, I didn't measure it exactly, but I don't know about you guys. I don't always have time for those things. It's like, you can't mess it up. It's sauce and tomatoes. So if you have a little extra, it's not going to hurt your recipe. So we're just going to stir that around, the tomato puree I used. You can also use organic tomato sauce if you find one that you like. Or I make my own homemade sauce. You could also add that. But the puree is just tomato, so that's really good. And then we're going to also be adding, let me just double check, yep. We have our parsley, which is already chopped up. So we're going to add in the fresh parsley and the oregano and the basil. And I don't actually measure it. It's like about 2 teaspoons. I'll put the full recipe ingredients under the video. But you can roughly estimate. I mean, again, I estimate. And you can do that to your liking. A little less oregano, it's about 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm just going to eyeball that. Just put it all around the pan. Almost. And then salt and pepper, which I always keep close by. And that's to taste. It's not like it's a full-on measurement. And you do want to put salt because salt brings out the flavor of tomatoes. So I use pink Himalayan sea salt. So I'm going to just stir that around. We're just going to kind of let that all come together in the pan. So it's very red. If you use a green pepper, it'd be a little bit more colorful, but our family, we prefer red peppers. So we're going to let that come to a gentle boil in the pan, and that just takes a few minutes. We'll just keep an eye on it, and then we're going to add in the already cooked spaghetti squash and the already cooked meat. So for the spaghetti squash, I made it ahead of time. It's one of those things that you can easily do ahead of time. You take a spaghetti squash. There's many different ways you can cook it. You can microwave it if you're in a time crunch, which is really great because, but you have to just take the spaghetti squash and you would poke holes in it and put it in your microwave for like about 10 minutes, depending on the size of your spaghetti squash. I prefer it in the oven, but you do need more time when you do that. So this is one of those things, I knew I was making this, so I made this ahead of time, like, and just put the oven timer on. It's something while we're watching TV you can do. And you cut it in half. You scoop out the seeds, almost like a pumpkin, because it is part of the pumpkin family. You throw away the seeds in that. You put a little bit of olive oil and some salt and pepper and put them face down on a cookie sheet. And you cook it for about 25 to 35 minutes till it feels a little tender. And you let it cool and you shred it up. And you get this like shredded kind of noodle texture. And it's definitely one of my favorite vegetables that my kids love and we love. And it's a great pasta alternative. Like I said, low carb, but you feel like you're still eating spaghetti. If you don't want to use spaghetti squash, you can certainly substitute pasta that you would make ahead of time. Or you can even put that on the side if you say, oh, my kids won't eat that. But I highly recommend trying it. Squash is delicious. It's a really great vegetable to add to your family's meal plans. Okay, now we have our sauté pan. And I have a fairly deep one. It's starting to bubble up and boil. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit because now I'm adding our already done spaghetti squash. Okay, we're just going to add that right in to the skillet. Just going to put this here. Just wipe my hands off here. And we have our browned ground turkey meat. I'm just going to add that in. And stir that all together and let that boil and come together for about 2 minutes. Okay, so this is just about done. It's been coming together for about 2 minutes here on the stove. So I'm going to turn this off. And again, it's in one pan, and we have this delicious meal. I told you I have a family of 6. There might be leftovers, there might not, but you can see it's a lot in here, and it's in one pan. I wouldn't even have all those other dishes. That was just to show you all the different ingredients. But because for a mom, we clean up this one pan. You serve from the pan, everyone gets their thing. You can actually add some fresh Parmesan shavings and a little bit of fresh parsley as a garnish, which is a great way just to finish it off. And I wanted to add a couple of tips. I'm going to tell you to also check out my video on how to make spaghetti squash. I go through it step by step, so it's really easy, you guys. Don't be like, what is spaghetti squash? What do I do? It's really simple. I will tell you about how to microwave it and how to do it in the oven both ways, so you have both options available to you depending on time, because I know we're all busy moms and we want to do what works for us. And my other tip, I don't know about you, I'm always looking for recipes, or somebody will email me a recipe, or you get one from a magazine that you love. A great thing to do, this is one of my favorite tips, is you get these plastic protective sheets. Like I used to get tons of these for my kids for school. And if I find a recipe I love, I put it in a plastic protective sheet. And we have all these binders. This one's kind of beat up, but you can buy an inexpensive binder. We have binders that kids don't use anymore. And I keep a bunch of recipes that I love right in here, really handy in the plastic protective sheets. So, because if you're like me and you keep it out here and you're looking at it while you're cooking or something that's on it, you can wipe this off with a sponge, and it's a really great way to keep your recipes. So, I hope that helped as you plan your meals for your family, and I'll see